Welcome to Microsoft Excel session. In today's session, we will be learning about another function, which is the multiplication. We started our journey learning about the whole library of formulas that Microsoft Excel stores. And because we are taking and understanding the basic formulas, one of the basic formula is also multiplication. We have learned sum, average, and subtraction. And subtraction is one of the formula that doesn't even exist in Microsoft Excel. But we have learned how to do it. Now we are going to learn multiplication. Now there are three ways we will be learning the use of multiplication. First one is how to just use one symbol and multiply two numbers. The second is how to use the product function and multiply a whole cell range. And the third is using a constant number and multiplying a column of numbers. These three things are very, very important for us to learn. So let's begin our session for today. The first way that we will be learning is using the asterisk, which is an arithmetic operator. Now to locate asterisk, make sure on your keyboard you go to number 8. Above of 8, you will be able to find the asterisk mark. Now, how do you have to insert asterisk is click on shift and then 8 and you will be able to use the asterisk factor. Now, you can multiply numbers in a cell using the asterisk which is the arithmetic operator. So let's see how to use asterisk. We'll go back and we will go to the Microsoft Excel. Now let's say I want to know what is the multiplication of 60 and 34, right? So we'll do equals to here. And we will, with the open bracket, we will click here. We'll select this number, right? And then we put asterisk, insert asterisk, select the other number, and we close the bracket, right? So you see equals to open bracket, select the first cell that you would want to multiply, insert the asterisk, then put the second cell that you want to get the product of with the other number, close the bracket and press enter. And as you see, I have already got my number here, right? So this is the number that I was looking for. This is the product of these two numbers. As you can see, I have already got the formula here, right? Now the one other way to do, so let's see if I want to get the formulas of all these numbers. You see this thin plus sign? What you have to do is just drag it and you get the multiplication product of all the numbers, right? So of these two numbers you get it here. So if you select here you will be able to see, again here you will be able to see, again here you will be able to see. So you will be able to see the number here, right? So it doesn't mean that, let's say if you select here and if you click here, you see these two numbers have been selected and you've got the product of this number. So that means manually I do not have to insert formula in each and every cell. That saves me a lot of time, by the way. This saves me a lot of time because what you are doing is you're just dragging the formula, and we will be learning about drag fill in the next upcoming session. But this is by far one of the most important thing, that manually you don't need to insert formula at each and every time, right? So this is all about the multiplication using the asterisk. You can do this with two numbers. Now let's say I want to do a multiplication of equals to, and I insert a bracket. Let's say insert this number and I do a multiplication. So I will insert asterisk. I can insert this number and I can again do insert. I can use this number and close the bracket here, and I will get of the three numbers I've got an asterisk. As you can see, I have inserted asterisk everywhere instead of putting a comma, right? Because I'm not added any formula here. If you are not adding any function, so what is function? Sum is a function of addition. Average is a function of average. So you write equals to sum, equal to average, and then you insert the bracket. Well, I'm not writing here anything. So for that matter, I will be inserting the first cell I want to multiply with the second cell with the third cell. Make sure you're inserting asterisk so that your number gets multiplied. Now, most importantly, there need not be any number order followed, but be careful that you are selecting those cells that you want the product of. Because when you are multiplying numbers, obviously the numbers are going to increase, right? So this is one thing that you should always remember, that whenever you are multiplying, your numbers will anyway, the amount, the product is anyway going to increase. So whatever numbers you are multiplying, make sure you're choosing the correct cell, right? So we have learned about how to multiply numbers using the asterisk function. Now let's go back to the presentation, right? The next thing that we would want to know is how to multiply a column of numbers using a constant number. Now let's say you have got lot of numbers of a product, right? And you want to multiply it with the price. So let's say in January I had this many products. In February I had this many products. In March I had this many products. In April I had this many products. In May I have this many products, and in June I have this many products, right? And you want to multiply it with the price, and let's say your price is 15 rupees of that product. Now, do you think you will be multiplying it at everywhere manually, saying that equals to this cell into this cell? Again, equals to this cell into this cell. Well, no. What you will be doing is you will be just choosing the number and the constant number and inserting it in one cell. And we will be dragging it so we get the proper value. So let's see how to do this multiplication formula. So we do escape again. So we will click and we will go back to this document, right? Now this is already done. So I'm going to press. Right? Now I'm going to write, let's say sales for. So let's say Jan, Feb. I'm going to do a 6-month sale. March, April, May, June. Now these are my months. Now number of, right? So let me put any random number. Right? This is my number of products. So I'm going to also wrap this because this has anyway exceeded. Now I'm going to be using, I'm going to be adding the constant. So the constant amount is, let's say 75 rupees per product, right? Now I need to know what is the multiplication of this, right? What is the price? So let's say this, I can add it with the number, more accounting formats, and I will go to currency, right? And I will choose the symbol from here. So let me scroll down. Sorry. So I'll be using the rupee. And I'll be doing okay. Now that this is done, right? got to know what is the multiplication value of this. So let's say C. So we'll do equal to, we will insert the open bracket, we'll select this, right? We will insert asterisk and we will select do 75, right? So we are not inserting the cell number, we are just putting the 75 here, right? And what we do is we close the bracket and we see the number has come. Now what we need to do is drag all the way through, go here, go to more accounting formats, go to the currency, search for the rupee, and as you see, I have got the correct amount of sale that has happened in January, February, March, April, May, June. I have used the formula only once. Select this cell with this cell, but instead of putting the cell number, what you can just do is multiply with the constant amount, which is your 75, and you get the value here. What you just need to do is then drag it down so that you get the proper value for all of them, just multiplying this number with 75, this number with 75. So it's a one-time use of formula. Any number, any number of columns that you want with a constant amount, you can fill it, and there is no limit, by the way. And make sure that you're using, in case there's a currency, you're putting the currency format as well. So this is how you do multiplication with the with a constant number or an amount or whatever that is there as per your requirement. Now we will learn about the product function. So product function is whenever you want to do a multiplication of a cell range. For example, you want to multiply 10 numbers. So there are two ways to do it. One, we keep on inserting comma and keep on inserting all the cells. So we select and we insert, we select and we insert. The next way to do is simply use the product function. But be very careful because your number might come as a scientific and it is not wrong actually. Just have to format the number a bit. So let's learn how to do product function. Also, another thing that you should know is you can apply product function for only 255 numbers or 255 cells. There is a higher chance that your number might increase, your product might increase. So whenever you're using product function, be very careful of the number of times you're using the product function and for the number of cells you're using product function. If you exceed 255, you might not get the result and there's also room of error, right? So let's go back and learn the product function. So we'll go back here again. And let's say I'm going to add numbers. Yeah. Now let's say I want to do a product function of this many numbers. As you see, this is my number, right? So what I do is equals to, and then you write PRO. The moment you write PRO, you see the product is already here. So double click, you select the first cell, right? Put colon, select the last cell, right? And you put the you insert the closing bracket and you put enter. Now you're thinking, why is my number showing like this? What you have to do is you click here because the product is quite huge. You go to format cells and you go to generally number. As you see, there's no, but this is your number what you can do is insert select here. You can use 1000 separator as well, right? And you can do OK and you get the proper number. So the thing is, because you have done multiplication of such a so many cells, which is about 1 second, which is about, as you see, 11 cells. You have actually calculated the product of 11 cells. That is why the number is so big, right? So if your number is coming like this, for example, let me do this. Let me select this many numbers, right? So we will just do equals to, again, I'm going to show you, right? PRO, select the product function, double click on it. Let's say I'm going to select this cell and I'm going to insert colon, sorry, colon. Again, I'm going to select this cell and insert colon and the last cell. And let's say I want to put the closing bracket, right? So I've inserted the closing bracket, press enter. As you see, your number has come into this format. Now, this is not wrong. How to do that is right click. You will get format cells. Click on format cells. As you see, this is a general format cell, have no specific number format. Go to number and you select on use 1000 separator if you want. You can even select as a positive or negative number depending how you want the general display to be. I always prefer doing a positive number display. Click on OK and you get the right number. So if you're seeing with any alphabetical letters, just make sure that you're using formatting cells after you have done the multiplication. You will get the product, you'll get the actual product of the numbers of the cell range that you were looking for.